How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. If you're joining us tonight, you know what? I would highly recommend. I'd highly recommend the platform that we're going to talk about tonight. It is surprisingly effective, and it is surprisingly powerful to generating clients for coaches. And so the coaches who are actually missing tonight are completely blowing it. But a lot of times people don't understand what certain platforms are for and how coaches are utilizing them. So they just kind of think that maybe Pinterest is just simply for planning your wedding or something like that. Well, you guys are going to learn a little bit about Pinterest tonight and more importantly, gain some clients from it. Let me say hello to a few people. If it's the first time that you ever joined us, you guys will find out really quickly that when you join us on Mentor Monday, it is never fluffy. What I mean by fluffy is that we're never going to invite you to something that is going to waste your time. We have a forward mission statement at Life Coach Training Institute. It's proficient coaches, thriving practices. We want to see both. So everything that we do always has one of these two outcomes. We're either trying to help you develop as a coach and improve your skills or help you get clients. We want you to have a thriving business. And so not every school, matter of fact, most schools only want to talk about how to coach, but we cover that other part, which ends up being about 90% of your business is how to get clients. So if you would jump inside of the chat, let us know that you're here. Say hello to us. Tell us where you're joining us from, what you're excited about. Also, do me a huge favor, like and share this. Don't be stingy with your likes. You know what this is going to do? It's going to tell Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. That's all we're really asking for you from you tonight is to at least take 1 second and click that because we're going to give you slides. We're going to give you a lot of stuff tonight to really help you get clients. So please do me that huge favor. Let me say hello to a few people. Deanna, who's joining us from Alberta, Canada. Stephen, who's joining us from Arkansas. And Kathy, who's joining us from Ohio. If you guys would, we haven't jumped in yet. It's going to be really powerful tonight. But do me a huge favor and jump inside the chat. Just post a comment if you're on Facebook. Post something in the chat if you are on YouTube. Let us know where you're joining us from, what you're excited about. Also, do me a huge favor and like this post and share it. It tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. And we're just out here trying to help as many coaches as we possibly can. And we would really appreciate that. We say hello to Steve, joining us from Ontario. Paula is joining us from New York. Rashonda is joining us from Texas. Shailene is joining us from Northern Utah. Excited to learn more about using Pinterest. Good. And Love is saying hello to us. Good to see you, Love. If you guys would, please jump in the comments. Let us know where you're joining us from. I don't like just being a talking head over here on the studio looking at a camera. So I greatly appreciate it if you jumped in and just said hello to us. Also, do me a huge favor. Like and share this post. It'll take you 1 second to just get on the app right there. Or if you're on your browser, just click like. It'll only take you like a fraction of a second on Facebook or YouTube, whichever one that you are on. And I promise you're going to really benefit from tonight. And you're going to learn some surprising things about a platform that you kind of thought that you knew about before. Love's joining us from Atlanta. Tracy is joining us from Alabama. Good to see you, Tracy. All right. Well, we are going to jump in. Keep those comments coming in. We love to hear from you and love to acknowledge that you're here. And so we appreciate that. Let me get that off really quick. What are we talking about tonight? Well, before we jump into talking about Pinterest, if you want the slides, we're so generous. All these beautiful slides and different tools and stuff that we create for Mondays, you can get it right off of our website. So if you text the word slides, don't text any other words. Just text the word slides right now to 833-258-7547. And you'll be given a link. And all you got to do is click that link and scroll to the bottom of the page. And at the bottom of the page, you will find a link to the slides. It's a nice bright green link that says download the slides, and you can get tonight's slides. It's going to give you all the information that I'm talking about tonight so that you're not having to take a bunch of crazy notes or any of those things. So I'll give you like 2 more seconds to do that, and then we are going to jump in. If you haven't been with us for the last few weeks, what are we talking about? We are talking about a startup guide, a startup strategy for coaches who are looking to find clients online. Now, whether you are a traditional coach, when I say you want to start a traditional practice that's in your own town, in your own region or county or wherever you live, you're wanting to have face-to-face clients, I still say that everybody needs a website and everybody needs social media. Reason being is that people are not going to meet you for the first time through a business card. And they're not going to necessarily meet you through another person. Even if somebody mentions you and says, oh, this is a good coach, you should talk to them, they're going to be looking you up on social media as their first strategy. They're going to start on Instagram. They're going to start on Facebook or wherever they are living on social media. And they are going to start there to look at if you've got a thriving business or not, if you're active on there and everything else. So if you are not, then people are forced to try to find your website. And hopefully they do. Hopefully you have a website, because that is where the first introductions to you and your business is actually going to take place. It's why you want to be on there, regardless if you're going to be a traditional coach or not. Respect you. If you want to be a traditional coach, does not mean that you don't need social media. So having said that, what we're doing is that we are looking at some of the major social media platforms, and you can go back in time. This is your first week here. Hey, welcome. It's your first week here. But we've already talked about Instagram. We've talked about Facebook, and we've talked about LinkedIn. This week, we are specifically talking about Pinterest. Now, many of you think that Pinterest is just simply a platform where you can put your board together for your wedding stuff. And my wife always asks young friends of hers, do you already have a Pinterest board with all of the items that you want for your wedding? And without fail, everybody that she talks to has that. One of our young friends just got engaged, like here in the last week. And if Julia is watching somehow, like strange thing, congratulations, Julia. But anyway, but my wife was talking to her the other day, and she was like, you must have a Pinterest board with all of your items that you've already picked out and thought about for your wedding. And she was like, oh, well, yeah, I do. How did you know that? But she's had it for a very, very long time, which is true. So what are people doing is that they are going on Pinterest and they are looking for ideas and they are compiling these ideas, but they're not just looking for ideas to decorate their house. They're not just looking for hobby kinds of things. They're actually looking for change and transformation in their life. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to look at this particular group of people who use Pinterest and how they use it so that we can be really strategic about going forward. Now, as part of this playbook that we've talked about, I want to remind you of what I've been saying each and every week. But we need to understand that what we're trying to do is that we're trying to build a relationship. We're trying to nurture a relationship that with people out there. We're not just advertising and selling. So this is just a really quick reminder. I went into it in depth the first week, but I'm going to recap it really quickly because this is important for every social media platform that you use. First off, you need to clarify your message. You need to dial in and you need to hone in your message. And when I say that, it means that you do need to choose a niche. You can't just be some generalist life coach out there saying, live your best life, because that doesn't mean anything to anyone. So if any of you have that on your social media right now or on your website, go please kill that, remove it. It's not going to get you any clients. And instead, decide who your who is going to be. What is the problem that keeps them up at night? And I want you to focus on speaking and nurturing a relationship with that group of people and talking about that precise problem and not putting it down. So what do you want to do is that you want to show up on a platform, on a social media platform, not that you have to be on all of them, but you need to find yourself on a platform where your ideal audience is already living. And you want to make it easy for people to find you. You have to engage authentically. Social media, see that word social? It's not it's not called advertising platform. It's called social media. And social means that we are looking to make connection. We're looking to engage people, not just offer a bunch of advertising stuff. And so social media is about building relationships. It's not simply posting things. You want to serve with value. That means that what you post should inspire people. It should educate. It should entertain. It should solve problems. And what ultimately happens as a result of that, 5 to 8 meaningful personal connections that move people towards trusting you and help them increase in readiness until the day that they want to hire a coach. It only makes sense because you've been engaging them. What? That it's clear who your who is, and it's clear what problems that you help people solve. Which leads me to this: build trust over time. Coaching relationships are born when clients are ready and rapport is established. So we're not talking about making 1 or 2 posts on social media and getting a bunch of clients off of it. That's not what we're talking about at all. The other thing that I'm not talking about is that I'm not talking about the fact that you need 100,000 followers before you get clients. That's not true either. You really don't need that many at all. What, 20, 25, maybe 50? I don't know. You don't need very many. It's all about what you're doing in the platform that builds trust, builds likability, shows your expertise. And then and as you build rapport and they are ready, then that's when they become clients. One more thing: include an appropriate ask. You're using clear calls to action. That's what a CDA is, to invite them into the next level of the relationship. That means that you're going to have a link on there. Maybe an example of that is maybe a free resource or conversations or consultations or something. There's going to be something clear that you are inviting people and asking them to do that moves them along in the process. Now, let's talk facts and figures about Pinterest, and I'm going to shock you guys and astound you in just a second. First off, monthly active users. There are 498 million global users on that are using the platform. Now, there's more total users on the platform, but every month there's nearly 500 million that are actually utilizing the platform. Now, this platform definitely skews towards women. Sorry for you guys who want to be guy coaches and everything else. You might think about this platform. Here's one thing that I would say: we can look at it in one of 2 different ways. If you're looking for guys to be clients, it does not mean that they are not on here. I just want you to understand is that nearly 8 out of 10 are women. Now, here's the other thing that I would say, caveat that I would say, is that most people are not posting things for guys in terms of looking for male clients or something like that. So that's the caveat. It does not mean that there are none. What I would say, it might actually be an opportunity because no one else is going for that particular group that's on the platform, which might make your message stand out that much more. But this is going to get much better than this as I go into this next couple of parts. One is that the largest age group on this platform is between the ages of 25 to 44. So that makes it an ideal place to reach younger Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Z. You're going to find them on the platform. Now, get ready for this in terms of what makes it stand out, because this right here is what makes this platform stand out amongst all the other social media platforms. Are you ready? If I had a drum roll, I would give you a drum roll. This is amazing right here. High household income. I showed you what the average household income is on the other platforms. 45% of U.S. users earn over $100,000 per year. And this is far beyond other social media platforms, and it is prime territory for high ticket coaching offers. So when we compared it to some of the others, we were at best 75. Even LinkedIn does not have this number. LinkedIn goes 75, over 75, and the other platforms are below somewhere around like 70, something like this. So these are people who are using this platform that have money. So if you're looking for people who you can be certain can actually afford coaching, then this is why you want to be on Pinterest. Because if you want to say these are the wealthiest users, yes, this is the platform with the wealthiest users as far as the data is concerned. Now, another thing, buying intention. This is a major thing that separates Pinterest from the other platforms. What do I mean by that? Because users who are on Pinterest are only on the platform to buy something. Let me say that again. When people are on Instagram, when people are on Facebook, when people are on TikTok, and when they are on LinkedIn, their number one purpose of being on the platform is not spending money and not buying stuff. It does not mean that they won't do that, because people are running ads on there and everything else. But if you're like me, when you're scrolling through stuff, the last thing that you want to do is see a ton of ads. Matter of fact, there used to be a day on Facebook where they really didn't have ads. And now at times it can be like every 4 posts or something like that you will see a bunch of ads or something like that. That's not why we go on there. Now, you might every now and then see a really, really good ad that, distracts you from what you are looking for, but your primary reason on Facebook is to connect with people. Your primary reason that you are on Instagram is either to connect or it's to be entertained in some kind of way. Same thing with TikTok. Well, the primary reason why people are on Pinterest is to spend money. They are on there to buy something. So when they are on there, they are there to spend money. They are looking for solutions. They are looking for answers for their problem, and they actually have the money to do something about it. And so the motivation for being on the platform is to spend money. That's why you want to be on here, because the other platforms, they are great, but it might take you a little bit longer to get seen, to get an audience and build some of these things. These people are on there like literally credit card in hand, and this is why they're using the platform. It's amazing. See, some coaches tonight haven't joined us. Maybe they'll look at it in the future. Maybe I will nudge them with just this information, just what I talked about just now, because it would actually be very foolish for many coaches, especially what I just showed you with women dominating Pinterest. Women also dominate the coaching industry. Most coaches are women and most clients are women. So actually the number of people number of women on Pinterest in terms of the percentages actually match the percentage of women in coaching and match the percentage of clients in coaching as well. So this actually might be a perfect place for many of you to be on there. And most coaches don't know how amazing it is, including some of the coaches who are right now at Life Coach Training Institute. So I'm going to send one more email to just kind of like, push them, shake them, put some smelling salts under their nose if they are kind of leaving this thing alone. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about a couple of other things. What else makes Pinterest stand out? Well, one big thing is that pins don't disappear on Pinterest. If you use something like Instagram stories or Facebook posts, those things always fade really, really quickly. So when I say they fade really quickly, meaning you might get like a day, you might get 24 hours, something like that. But Pinterest pins can resurface months or even years later. Here's another thing that makes it stand out. Pinterest is search driven. It is SEO based. So when I say SEO, what I'm talking about is it's for posts that have been optimized for search. So it also means that your content ranks just like Google searches would, which makes it easier to be found. One thing that is so obnoxious on Instagram and in some of these is that sometimes they'll say, well, hashtags matter. And then, no, it's not looking at hashtags anymore. No, you need to do this if you want people to see it. And they're always like, they're going back and forth on this stuff all the time. Well, hashtags do not lead the charge on this particular And so here's what happens is that you can't do a search string like you would on Google on any Instagram stuff. So sometimes it's really hard to find things, hard to find what you're looking for. You're taking a guess at certain hashtags, and sometimes it's relevant and sometimes it's not. Any of you who have searched anything on Instagram find it really, really difficult, and sometimes find it really, really difficult on Facebook to find things. But because this is built like a search engine, like Google, it means that I can put in a search term or I can put in a search string, a few words, a handful of words, and it's going to find something for me, which is amazing, and it serves you a lot better. Now, you also on Pinterest have evergreen visibility. When I say that, what I mean is that your content keeps working for you long after you post. Pinterest pins have a half-life of 3.5 months. And compare that to Facebook or Instagram posts where you just posted stuff and you're like, man, it got no traction. It seems like nobody saw it, and that seemed like a waste. This is how, again, this platform actually works for you and sustains whatever it is that you're posting. Now let's talk about what mistakes coaches make on the platform. Most people, most coaches treat Pinterest like any other social platform, and that's where they go wrong. Here's some of the common mistakes that coaches are making. One, and this is an ongoing problem amongst all social media, is posting one time and expecting instant results. I would say this is true for all of the social media platforms. You need to be in it for the long term. You need to play the long game. Understand we're developing relationships. As I've said before, if you went into Starbucks and you saw a cute barista and you weren't married and you weren't dating anybody, the first time you meet them, you're not going to ask them to marry you, but you will start frequenting the place. You will keep stopping in, and you'll leave great tips, and you'll get to know them. And then one day when it's appropriate, maybe 2 weeks or maybe a month after, you might ask them for coffee. That's going to be the first step. And so we have to understand we're there for the long term to engage and develop a relationship. And so that's why we've got to be consistent. Another mistake that coaches make is using low quality pins. That means that they're making posts that are text heavy, that are really cluttered, or they're unbranded graphics. And none of those things perform very well on the platform. A couple of other things. Ignoring search engine optimization. Again, like I said a while ago, Pinterest functions as a search engine. It's what it actually is. And so if a coach is neglecting to put titles, is neglecting to put descriptions, and will not name their boards, or just puts really like vague things that are out there, nobody's going to find it. So some of you might actually already be using Pinterest and you're trying to use it like you would Instagram. And so you're loading up on hashtags and a bunch of those other things, not understanding that Pinterest is actually functioning like a search engine, which makes it actually very, very easy for you. So when you write anything that you're writing, you want a title. Again, anything that you want. I'm just giving you a hint on search engine optimization. This isn't on the slide, so just listen up. With anything that you do search engine optimization, in any search engine, if you want to optimize anything that you are doing, the title must have the keywords that you want, that you expect people to use, right? So titles, descriptions, really big deal. Imagery and images that bear the same. You want to have it be congruent. You want to be consistent on all of these things. And so on here, descriptions, titles, and board names all need to have the proper search terms. I'm not talking about spamming people, but I am talking about something that actually looks like it was intentionally done. Listen, you can make as many boards as you want. You can make as many posts as you want to be able to focus on and just make them keyword searches for certain kinds of things. Like this board is going to be for this challenge that my clients experience, and you leave it and you make everything live there. We can create another board and have it for another challenge. And so you're not just sitting there spamming people by putting a bunch of keywords in it. what you're trying to do is that you're trying to make a board, or you're trying to make a post that doesn't have a ton of keywords in it, but it has one keyword or one key string that makes it relevant to the search. When you spam and you put all this other junk in it, then what Pinterest is going to do is it's going to say, well, this one's less relevant because it's got a bunch of different words in it. But this other post seems to do really, really well that somebody else did because they were consistent, on point, and on message all the way through. So as we keep going, another mistake that coaches make is not linking to an opt-in. I've talked about how big of a deal this is, but you need to be directing the people who are on anything that you're doing in social media towards a lead magnet, towards a freebie, towards a service page. If you're not linking people to something to get them to take action, you're simply leaving money on the table. And another mistake that coaches specifically make on Pinterest is only posting one time per pin. And the best strategy is actually refreshing Pinterest content by repinning, rearranging boards, and updating with new images or descriptions so that you maintain visibility. So let's talk about strategy and how you might begin. And again, what I always say with strategy is we are beginning with these platforms. Now, what I'm telling you to do is for you to try it. When I say try it, I say you need to try this for at least 30 to 60 days to see what kind of traction you get. And then you can make modifications. But if you won't commit to 30 days and you're like, well, I'm going to try this for 3 days, and if I don't get anything, well, you don't understand relationship and nurturing a relationship and being consistent in things, which is the number one issue facing coaches on social media. But when I say with any of these strategies, you need to actually give it time. So how often should you post? Daily, 5 to 10 times per day to maintain momentum. And one of the things that you can do is you can use some kind of a scheduling tool. Tailwind's one of those that you can actually put all of your things together and you can have it post for you so that you're not just living on the platform as far as that's concerned. Weekly, create at least 3 to 5 fresh pins per blog post or lead magnet. And so we're putting some things out there that are directly leading to a call to action, getting them to take action and move from that pin to a post or some kind of a lead magnet on our website. You know, one of the things, and why are people actually creating blog posts? If you create a blog post on your website, what you're doing when they click it, maybe it's not a freebie, maybe it's to a long form version of a post. They click on it, now they're on their website. So after they might read the blog post, but they might click around and get to know you. And maybe you've got another opt-in on there, but we want to get them to take action. We want them to make a move. How often should you post? Monthly. You want to refresh older high performing pins with some new images or some updated titles. Now, how do you get better results specifically off of search? Well, first thing, use what we call long tail keywords and pin titles and descriptions. What does that even mean, Paul? Well, here's what a short title is. A short title is something like this: confidence tips. Well, that's really, really vague. It's really, really non-specific, but a lot of coaches do that. Instead, you want to have a longer search term like this: how to build confidence for women in leadership. And so what is that going to do? Well, it's more descriptive, but one of the things that's really important is that whenever you write a title, you want to think of, well, how would somebody, if somebody was going to come on here and look for the kind of content that I've put together, how might they say it? How might they type it? How might they write it? And there are some tools online that you can use to help you build a keyword string and to actually think about these kinds of things. We'll keep going on. Optimize your board names. And so instead of saying life coaching tips for, instead, you want to use life coaching tips for women instead of just a vague, ambiguous word like coaching. Who is this for? And then also, What problem are you solving? Or actually identify the problem if there's a specific problem that you're talking about. You want to add hashtags sparingly, again, because Pinterest is prioritizing keyword searches, not so much emphasizing hashtags. You want to use CDAs, calls to action. Make sure that every pin links to a lead magnet, some sort of a freebie, or your actual coaching offer. We want them to have a step, and you need to tell them what their next step is. And with boards, organize your content into searchable categories like mindset coaching tips or productivity for entrepreneurs or self-care for leaders. See, one of the real big things about this is that when you organize it, when people come on your page, they might find themselves on there for one thing, but when they click around, they find out that you actually have a lot of stuff that really interests them. And you should, if you actually know who your ideal client is and you're creating content for those particular people, and it'll make them stick around on your page for a little bit longer. So, quick wrap up. Pinterest isn't about quick engagement. It's about long-term visibility, and it's about converting searches into sales. Pinterest users, again, are ready to invest. It's a platform built for people who want to buy. It's not just for people who are on there to scroll or just simply to browse. Pins have a longer shelf life. So keep posting and repurposing content to stay relevant. Search engine optimization is everything. Again, your pins need strategic keywords if you want your ideal client to find them. And the last thing is it is a long game. So you need to be consistent. You need to create high quality pins. And when I say pins, high quality content that drives results over time. Let me pay the bills really quick. Oh, but before we pay the bills, some of you are like, I wasn't expecting this content to be so great. And now I don't have any notes. How can I watch this again? Well, just text slides to 833 258 7547, and then you can get it. All right, let me pay the bills really quick. We are less than 2 weeks away from our next cohort for Masters Academy. Some of you have become aware that we do offer an advanced certification in spirit-led transformational Christian coaching with our own proprietary IIPP transformational coaching model. It's been a dynamic program since we launched it last year. We're going into cohort 4, and it's 6 weeks long on Thursday nights. We take the replays of those and we have them available within 24 hours. Let me share with you what what you're going to get inside of this program. One is it's 6 weekly live sessions. We also have as a part of Masters Academy is our Christian coaching community. So we have a Facebook group that has a dynamic group of people who are all going through the program together. And that means that you have access to people for support, for prayer, for homework buddies, or any of those other kinds of things. Again, it's a brilliant group of people that you get to walk through this program with. You're going to earn an advanced CPC credential, as well as you're going to get the tools that we've created specifically for this program, and they are spirit-led transformational coaching tools. It's over 60 pages of tools and questions. And what we do is I show you how to utilize the tool each week. That's your homework for the week. You just turn in your assignment, and then you learn more about the next pillar and the next tool. There is nothing like this in the coaching world. I've seen all of those other coaching programs that are out there, and they really borrow off of the same existing models of coaching that have been around for, well, I don't know, 40 years or something like that. And just because you call something Christian doesn't actually mean that it's Christian. So what we've done is that we've taken this farther and we've created a coaching model that is truly spirit-led, that is dynamic and it's transformational. Our coaches always say, man, I didn't expect this to be so transformational, and seeing someone go in one session and have a breakthrough that might have taken them years otherwise, or maybe never. This program, for those of you who have already earned your basic credential, is only $395. If you don't have your basic credential out of the way, you can add $100 to that, and you can and you can buy the bundle now. Listen, you don't have much time. If you're thinking about doing this, you need to get enrolled now. It's $100 off for the bundle to be able to get the life coach certification course and to take part in Masters Academy. That only gives you less than 2 weeks to knock that training out of the way, because we're not going to cover the basic credential stuff once we start on those Thursday nights. So I'd highly encourage you to get started with that. For those of you who are looking to earn your basic credential, one great opportunity is coming up, only 2 weeks away, is our next live coaching bootcamp. This is a 3-day live weekend over Zoom where we walk you through all of the parts of the life coach certification course. It's really what I would say is it's the same core modules, but it's delivered live with Q&As as well as demos and all of those other things. There's 7 sessions. Session 1 is Foundations of Coaching. Session 2 is the Anatomy of a Dynamic Coaching session. Session 3 is how to help your clients get extraordinary results. 4 and 5 is how to listen on a transformational level. Session 6 is how to ask powerful questions. 7 is how to establish a growing coaching practice. This weekend includes live coaching demos, and it also includes live Q&As. So for some of you who are thinking about, man, I've been wanting to get trained and certified, but my schedule hasn't been working for me, the best thing that you could do is take our accelerated program that's Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and you've knocked all of your training out. You just need to turn in your assignments and take the exam. What all is included? Besides those 7 live sessions with live Q&A and role playing, you're also going to get brandable templates, including coaching agreements and a client welcome pack. When I say brandable, it means that we put all the coaching agreement stuff together, all of those things. You can just change color schemes, you can change logos, you can change any of the language, but it gives you something that is fully editable rather than us giving you something that's shrink wrap that you can't really work with. You're also going to get the coaching tool starter kit, as well as hundreds of question samples. Obviously, you're going to earn your life coach certification and receive your certificate. And you also get replays and handouts, plus bonus live Tuesday night coach training. Because I know sometimes over the course of a weekend, it's like drinking from a fire hose. So being able to join us on Tuesdays can be really helpful for you to continue to connect, get your questions answered, and all those things. The cost is only $295. Now, some of you have gotten your credential out of the way, or maybe not. The best thing that I could offer you, and if you guys have been enjoying what we do on Monday nights, well, you haven't seen anything yet. On inside of our Jumpstart program, we give you the A to Z business development roadmap, including a group coaching call and several other courses for you to establish a thriving coaching practice. Here's some of the things that it actually includes. It includes a life coach certification course. It also includes all of these courses like Brand Camp. It's 13 hours of training. We take you by the hand and give you a step-by-step on how to develop your marketing messaging. We cover how to develop your website. We cover search engine optimization. That part alone is worth thousands of dollars because we've helped many people get page 1 on Google. How to write a sales page. How to write a high-converting email. We have coaches who have email lists that are getting open rates of like 60, 70, 80% who have went through and gotten the details. And there's tons of tools and there's tons of bonuses. We also are big encouragers of not just thinking of your coaching practice as a bunch of one-on-ones. I developed this course because I'm really big on coaches creating multiple streams of income. And so the coaching product launch blueprint can be used for your business launch, for group coaching, for online courses, for webinars, workshops, retreats, any of those things. It's another one of those opportunities to go from brainstorming all the way to launch. We give you every step that you need to be successful. The cost of this program would normally be thousands of dollars a month. It's only $97 a month. And everything that I told you about also includes a weekly group coaching call. So when you join on Wednesdays, you can get your questions answered. You can also get feedback on anything that you are working on for your business. It is a complete steal. I've been told that many times, but we are trying to price this to give you the incentive to get the help that I believe that you need. $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. That's only $3 a day. And so you could give up Starbucks for a month and you'd still have an extra probably $25 a month, because we're not even as much as what you're spending on Starbucks right now, probably. Let me look at a couple of these posts. Kathy says, Masters Academy has changed my life. I'm so grateful I made the choice to attend. That's so cool. And good. Awesome. Well, cool, everybody. Well, we're going to head out of here. And what I am going to do is I am going to put this on replay so some of the other people can kind of watch it. So this stream will end, but you can jump in on our Facebook or on our YouTube if you missed the very first part of it. But listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Get enrolled. There's a link inside links inside the description right now where you can get to any of these programs and you can get enrolled in about 90 seconds. Listen, I appreciate you so much. Have a great rest of your week and take care.